What's going on, YouTube? Welcome to Junior and the Big Dog. Today we're covering our defensive prospects for the 2020 recruiting class, part two. In part one, we already covered the defensive line as well as our outside linebackers. Link's going to be up here in the description. So like I said, today's part two. We're going to be covering the inside linebackers as well as our defensive backs with video breakdown like we always do for you guys. So tune in. I hope you guys enjoy the show. What's going on, YouTube? Junior and the Big Dog, baby. I'm here with Big Dog. How's it going? How's the
Good.
weather up there? Cause it's brutal over here in South Florida right now.
We actually had some rain here, but yesterday was a great day. I was able to take well, my wife and my youngest to take them to Kings Island. It's a theme park over here in Ohio, and had a great time with them. Even though the big dog can't hunt anymore, so I have to have one of those motorized scooters all around the park. But we had a good time, and so it was a beautiful day,
Yeah.
and it was like one of those perfect days. Like the temperature was high 70s, but there was cloud cover, but it wasn't. There was a little bit of breeze. I mean, it was about a perfect of a day as you can.
Yeah. It's
So
ugly. It's ugly over here on Saturday as of recording right now. It's been raining all day. At least up here in Fort Lauderdale. I don't know how it is down south in Miami, but today we're gonna be covering part two. Like I said, in the intro, our inside linebackers and our defensive backs. Part one, we covered the defensive line and the outside linebackers. I'm gonna leave the link again somewhere up here. So if you guys haven't seen that video, go ahead and check it out. So today I'm excited. We're gonna be covering the defensive backs. I always love covering the secondary. To be honest with you, doesn't matter if it's current players, maybe future players. I mean, we'll see. It's our breakdown of the people we think that we have a good chance of landing.
right,
So you know,
right. So we will mention names to know also, which are guys that we don't think we have a good chance. But we're covering all the guys that we believe we at least have a decent chance of landing. And we are covering the first one was defensive line. Obviously, the first one was the offensive guys. Then we did the defense in two parts: defensive line and outside linebackers. And this one's inside linebackers and secondary. And once again, everybody, thank you so much for watching and for giving us the support that you've given us.
mhm.
Really enjoyed the live chat that we got to do the other day,
Yes, sir.
and I hope you guys enjoy this one. Please hit the notification bell, subscribe. If you haven't subscribed already, hit the notification bell and share, and give us some feedback and some commentary over what we covered and what you think. And I'd love to hear your opinions, and thank
Definitely.
you so much for all the support you've given us.
Definitely, guys. I mirror all those comments and I appreciate it as well. Before we get into covering the players for this class, I know the big dog has some things to say before we go ahead and get into it.
I did. We ended up getting a 2021 commitment from Andres Borregales
Hmm.
from Booker T. Washington High School. He is a kicker. He is the brother of Jose Borregales, who is the kicker for FIU, who was actually a Lou Groza a semifinalist for the best kicker in the country last year. And this kid's tremendous. As a junior last year, actually, no, that's as a sophomore. That's right. He'll be a junior this year because he's 2021.
21, right?
So as a sophomore, he hit 7 of 9. His only two misses were actually blocks. His longest was 47 yards, and he has one up on YouTube, I believe, that he made a 67-yarder in practice.
Yeah.
So this kid has a strong leg. He's rated Corn Blue Kicking, who does basically rates kickers, special and punters. Rated him as the number one kicker in the country, and he committed to us, which was great. That's a great get, and that's one of the things I wanted to talk about just as a side before we start talking about all these guys. Sometimes when I hear Canes fan, there's a lot of negativity over, oh well, look who Clemson landed, and look who Bama landed, and this and that, or whoever. And the thing is, they don't talk about all the times, and I get it, like I said before, South Florida guys, and we should be able to throw that state of Miami and throw up that wall, and we get our pick of South Florida guys. But Clemson, Alabama, even though Clemson's the defending national champion, they lose out on guys that they want all the time. And people only notice like when we lose our battles, but they don't notice all the battles that we win. And one of the famous Hurricane stories that we were talking about today is the Gervin Hall story that Nick Saban, like I think he even landed on the practice field where Gervin Hall is so he could recruit him to go to Alabama. And I believe Gervin Hall is starting for us at safety this year. Okay, so, there's battles like that Bama has lost to us. We talked about Christian Williams. And, yeah, we lose our share of the battles. And when you go 7-6, you're going to lose more than usual. And when you go 10-3, you're going to win more of them. And Don Chaney, that's a perfect example. He's a guy who just got his 5th star, who could be a running back at any team in the country. Okay, and he committed to us from the beginning of like the Manny era, because I believe he committed after the coaching change. So that's a perfect example of a guy who could go anywhere, and we got him. So give the coaching staff and the recruiting department credit, because, like I said, they win more, more than their share of battles, especially when you consider that we're a little bit far removed from those great seasons that Miami was used to having. I mean, the 10-3 season in 2017, I think that was our first 10-win season in over a decade. So we still do very well recruiting. So I just wanted to bring that point up.
And I'm just going to add something to that. And I think you hit the nail on the head towards the end of it there. Canes fans have this expectation, and I know I feel it, as a Cane fan, and I know the majority of our fan base feels it, this tradition. It's all about the U, this championship mentality. But guys, we have to be realistic as well. And you guys get upset for kids, decommitting or maybe going to other schools, especially, in the past decade or so. We haven't been winning, and we still land amazing classes. So
right. Well, and we haven't been winning to our standards, to the 5 national championships, to the 8 Hall of Famers.
But that's my point. Exactly. Right. But that's my point, that the Cane fan base, they think those are that should always be the standard. Don't get me wrong. I don't want you guys to misinterpret my words. That should always be the standard, and we should always aim for national championships, not just aim for winning the Coastal.
Right.
So we should definitely aim for winning national championships. But the truth of the matter is, we haven't been doing that, and we've had our ups and downs, and we've had a lot more downs than ups in quite.
But again, by our standard.
Yes, but that's what I don't care about anybody else's standard. I'm just talking about.
Here's my point, and this is what I tell Miami fans. Okay, FSU is in some of these recruiting battles. They went 5-7 last year, and they only won 6 games the year before. That they had to actually make up a game just to get qualified for a bowl.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, and FSU won a national championship, 5 years ago, 6 years ago, when they had Jameis. So it's Florida has had 2 4-win seasons out of the last 6, I believe. Okay, and that's my point, is that you look at we were 7-6 last year, 10-3 the year before, 9-4 the year before that. I'm not talking about being happy, but North Carolina won 2 games each of the last 2 years. Florida State only won 5.
Right.
Okay, so Florida, one of the things that people always throw in their face, that they lost to Georgia Southern, I believe was a loss that Florida took. Okay, so what I mean by that is, yes, you're right. The standard at Miami isn't winning the Coastal. It isn't even winning the ACC, even though we haven't done that as of yet. Okay, outright. We won because we didn't even play one year that we actually won the Coastal with a tiebreaker, but we self-imposed a bowl ban and we didn't go to the ACC championship.
Right.
But if you look at The standard at Miami is winning national championships, competing for national championships all the time.
Yeah.
Is not having anything worse than a 2-loss year. That's the standard, and that's fine. And I believe we are getting back to that starting this year. Okay. Now, that being said, my point was that before, when people get negative with recruiting battles, they forget all the ones that we win and or come up with a reason why. Oh, that guy just wanted to stay home. No, you still have to win the battle because he could have stayed home playing for FIU.
Exactly. Yeah, no, 100%.
Okay? So you have to win that battle, and that was my point. We win our share of the battles, and even when we land a big one, what's the first thing you hear from, a lot of times, from Kings fans? Oh, I hope he doesn't decommit. Oh, until he signs a letter of intent, I won't believe it.
Yeah.
That's true with everybody. Christian Williams was committed to Bama, and he ended up, being at the University of Miami.
Right.
So that was my only point.
I got you, and I'm there. I'm
just
there with
be
you.
more positive. Just be more positive, and don't worry. And this staff that we have put together is, I think, a damn good one. The best staff we've had in a long time.
Yeah.
And they're doing their job, and they're working hard recruiting, and they're getting it done, and they're going to get it done in a big way continuously from here on out. So,
absolutely. All right, so that's enough of that. Let's get to what you guys probably clicked on the video for, our defensive breakdown of the inside linebackers and the defensive backs of the 2020 recruiting class next year. Guys that we think we have a legitimate shot at landing. And I think it's only right that we start off with a player that should be well known, not just to Canes fans, but to anybody that knows anything about college football. Justin Flo.
Yeah, this guy is an absolute monster. In case to the particulars that you guys might have not known, he's 6'1.5" or 6'2", 225 pounds, Upland High School in Upland, California. His rating is a 99.86. I don't know what that other 0.14 what he's missing, because I don't think he's missing anything.
Yeah.
Number 1 ranked inside linebacker in the country, the number 3 overall player. He's offered by 40 schools, including the usual suspects: Clemson, Alabama, Ohio State, USC, etc. There's 6 crystal ball predictions, and they're all for USC. This is what we talked about, that I think we have a much better chance. We talked about it on our live podcast. We have a much better chance because of what's going on with USC. Now, there's been rumors flying around, and rumors sometimes it's just a writer who throws something out there. And by the way, all of our ratings, we didn't mention that, we always do, all of our ratings are from 247 composite ratings. The stats from Max Preps, and all the film that we have are from Huddle. I encourage you guys to visit all those sites. Ton of information in there. Obviously, we can't always cover it all, but those are great sites. The reason I was mentioning that is one of the rumors that I don't think this was on 247. It was on some other site, because we always research a bunch of different sites. Talked about a rumor that Urban Meyer had to quell, saying that as far as he feels, he's staying retired, because one of the rumors was that he would replace Clay Helton at USC.
At USC, right.
Right. So I think the fact that all these crystal balls are coming in for USC, but that Clay Helton is on the hot seat, is going to work out in our favor, especially us having a good season, especially the fact that he visited with his father
on his own dime.
On his own dime, on a 2-day trip that they came down to they were at the, it wasn't the, it was a spring game. No, it wasn't a spring game. It was the scrimmage at Trash Ball.
I saw him. Yeah,
right,
I saw him out there.
And so I think we have a legitimate shot of landing him from that standpoint, that I think USC is going to struggle this year. I do see them struggling again. And if they struggle, I think it opens the door for us, especially if they have a coaching change.
Yeah.
So now, getting to the player, this guy's an absolute monster. He's, I think, the best middle. I can't even remember. I'm trying to think of the last time I've liked a middle linebacker coming out of high school as much as Flo. Man, it'd be hard. It'd be hard to come up with one. But anyways, just a monster. Great instincts. Uh, I mean, plays downhill, plays with violence. Uh, just he even has cover skills. I mean, he's a monster. You want to go ahead and give him the measurables?
Yeah, his 40 Huddle has him at a 4.45,
I
but
don't think he's a 4.5. I think he's closer to that
that
4.68.
4.68. Yeah, yeah. Looking at 34 inches, his shuttle's 4.38, benches 385, squats 605, and he cleans 325. So he's an animal. He's
Go ahead and give him the stats.
for the varsity. I'm gonna give you guys first his junior season, and then I'll go ahead and give you guys his total. You know, with his high school stats as a whole. But his junior season, he played 12 games. He had 88 solo tackles, 57 assisted tackles, which is a total of 145. He had 17 tackles for loss. I mean, he averaged 12 tackles a game in his junior season. In total, his varsity, he played 27 games because his sophomore season he played 10. But if you look at his freshman year to his sophomore year to his junior year, he just keeps on getting better. And frankly, I'm excited to see what numbers he puts up this year. But he's the number 3 player overall in the country for a reason. And he's the best linebacker in the country for a reason. And he's being offered by everybody, obviously, because of how much of a player he is. I haven't seen a linebacker of his stature and that kind of player at that position in a long time, man. So I mean, you're older than me, and you have seen a lot more players than I have. So I mean, who does he maybe remind you of coming out of high school with this much talent at this
See,
size?
That's the thing. I was trying to come up with a comparable, and coming out of high school, man, it's hard finding a comparable for him. It is because he looks like a college player already. Right. So it's not like, with Trenton Simpson, for example, you know how much I liked him at outside linebacker. But Flo and Savell Smalls have this in common in that it's fairly rare that you see a linebacker who looks like they're sophomores, or I'm not sophomores, looks like they're almost seniors in college in terms of they're ready for college ball right now. And you have to remember, they haven't even played their senior seasons yet.
Right.
So that's pretty rare. Let's go ahead and get to the film so everybody can see what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Just an absolute monster.
I love watching this film, man.
Oh, I can watch it over. Look at that body. Look at that physique, dude. That kid hasn't played his senior season yet. And he's built like a monster.
He's a violence.
Look at this. Oh, man, you feel sorry for that running back. Oh man, that was nasty. Look at that again. Oh, God, why did they show it in slow motion? I feel it's like he got hit twice. Look at this. Reads the play perfectly. Body slam.
Yeah, that's not a tiny bag either. You just picked him up.
No, you just dish-ragged him. Now watch this one.
Yeah.
Sees the play developing. Now look at his closing speed and just blows up the guy. Again, watch what he does in coverage. Okay. Ooh. That's his film is like that on every single play. Look at that. And just look at the instincts. I mean, listen, he's a not only a 5-star. You saw that rating of 99.86. Now, you heard, I do think we have a better chance than many others are giving us because of the fact that he did visit, 2-day visit on his own dime. But we'll see. We'll see what ends up happening. A lot's going to depend on what we do this year and what USC does. But we're right there at least, even though now 247 composite or 247 has us as cool in terms of the interest. We went out to California during the spring evaluation period to visit him. So we're maintaining the contact.
And like you said, he came on his own dime.
Yep.
That's something when it comes to recruiting that you really want to see, especially for high profile players, is you always want them to come take an official visit, obviously. But what is really telling sometimes with these recruits is if they do unofficial visits on their own dime, meaning the school is not paying for them to
That's
come
right.
down here. So the fact that he came down here on his own dime, paid for his own ticket, that means there's interest there,
Right.
obviously. And then obviously we went up to California to visit him.
A
So
couple of times we've been to Cali
so
just to see him.
so we'll see. We'll see. I think what you hit the nail on the head when it comes to USC and their coaching situation. If USC has a down year and some coaching changes end up happening, then hey, that's something that a recruit of his stature and such an amazing talent might not want to necessarily go into uncertainty at USC. So who knows?
Yep.
Who
Yep.
knows? And like you said, if we have another 7-6 season,
Right.
that's gonna hurt
But like I
us.
said, I don't see us having anything less than a 10-win season. I
No,
just don't see it.
I'm just saying. I'm
Too
just
much
saying
talent.
that we assuming
Right.
that USC does have those issues, and that's also assuming that we have the season that we think we're gonna have. Then
Correct.
I think that does put us in a good spot. Maybe we'll see.
Absolutely. We'll see.
Yeah. So
You
you
want to
want
go to the next one?
to just go ahead and go to our next linebacker?
This is a young gentleman who visiting. I think he's visiting, if not today, because I think he visited. I want to say from Wednesday to Friday. He might actually still be there. If not, Tyreek Austin Cave, 6 foot and a half inch or 6'1", 203 pounds, from Camden High School in Camden, New Jersey. As we're recruiting that Northeast again, which I like seeing our footprint there.
Mm-hmm.
His rating is actually only 87.09, which is a 3-star. He's the 17th best inside linebacker in the country, 546th best overall player, offered by 19 schools, including Syracuse, West Virginia, Kentucky, and Maryland. The crystal ball has only one pick, and it's showing West Virginia. So the thing, Austin Cave, I think he should be ranked higher. Um, he is, I believe he's on an official visit, but at the end of the day, he has a couple. I think he has a visit to West Virginia next weekend and
And
Syracuse
Syracuse,
the
the one,
weekend after
yeah, the
that.
one after that one, right?
Right. So this is, I mean, he's very athletic. You want to go ahead and give him the testing numbers.
Yeah, his 40, he ran a 4.76, vert 33.9, and a shuttle of 4.53. As a junior, he played 12 games. He had 24 total tackles, assisted on 138. So that's kind of crazy. That adds up to 162 total tackles, and he averaged 13 and a half tackles, per game. Most
Yeah,
of
they
which
don't.
were assisted, but
Yeah, but that's one of those stats that are
take it how you want
somewhat.
it.
Yeah, some of those are somewhat meaningless.
Yeah.
Is a lot of times coaches will like, in order, if somebody played well and they didn't necessarily show up in the stats, well, either he assisted on a tackle who might have been made by somebody else, really. But anyways,
Yeah.
but the fact that he was in 162 tackles shows how active he is. Let's go ahead
Exactly.
and take a look at his film.
Mm-hmm.
I really like his film, and I think he should be. I definitely put him as a low 4-star, but I don't believe in stars. There you see what he looks like. Watch, sheds a block, gone. You're done. Look at this. Look at the way he trails his play.
Yeah.
And when he gets there with in a bad mood,
Mm-hmm.
which I love to see.
Which is something you want to see from a linebacker.
And you guys know, you've heard it from me before. I don't believe in stars, because this young man should be a 4-star. Look at this. Look at this. That's about what, a 7-yard loss.
Yeah. Perfect read on the play.
Beautiful. That's what I love most that he does. Look at those instincts. Fights through the wash, like they call it, through the traffic. Now look at him on a return. Shows you what type of athlete he is. He's still playing special teams. You think
Hmm.
that guy's gone? Nope.
He doesn't
Catches
get
it from.
yeah, doesn't give up on the play, which is something you love to see as well.
Yeah, listen, I like that. I think he's a definite take, and I think we have a very good shot at him. I
Yeah.
really do. I have good feelings about him. I think we definitely will do better than West Virginia and Syracuse. And I think we have, and you know what? I would put him very often with Blissett, with Jared Harrison Hunt, with El Gamal, with that all those New York guys, and
Hmm.
obviously he's from New Jersey, but just that Northeast, that whole type of environment. I think I feel good. I feel really good about our chances with him, and I think he's going to be a really good middle linebacker. And obviously, we can't, we don't have Justin Flo in the boat, but even with Justin Flo, we still could use another inside linebacker.
Yeah, especially I mean, Justin Flo's one of those guys that you have to throw your net out there for a guy like that, no matter what. But you do understand that it could be a swing and a miss. So you would like to see your backup plans and bringing in more guys. We've said it before: Shaq, Pickney, McLeod, they're gone after this year. So we need linebackers in a big way for next
And,
year.
and you got to remember, we're either signing four, at least four total,
Hmm.
if not five. And now we have one committed, which is AJ Mathis, who I do like, and he's definitely a pure outside linebacker.
Hmm.
So right now, yes, we still have Bradley Jennings, we'll still have Patrick Joyner, and he really is doing a good job. But we don't want to have the situation that we had this year,
Hmm.
where we basically were down to what was it, three scholarship or linebacker, or two scholarship linebackers at one point playing in spring
Hmm.
because McLeod was injured. Then you had Jennings got injured.
Yeah.
You had the Wayman C got injured.
Hmm.
DeAndre Wilder hasn't played, because he has that whatever neck injury he has. Okay, so we've had all these linebacker issues. We need depth for sure, and Tyreek Austin Cave, I think, is very, very, very apt to develop into a starting caliber middle linebacker at the college level.
And listen, man, I just like the fact that we're we obviously have some good traction in the Northeast. We've proven with some signings we've already made, but I just like the fact that we're going everywhere to find these guys.
Yep. Yep.
That's one of the things that when I look at a guy from New Jersey or I look at a guy from California, I mean, we're literally going all over the country trying to find guys that we think could really be beneficial to this team. So
And we're
that's
not playing around, with divas. We're not playing
no
around with guys that sit there and play us along.
with
And
silent
no, if
commitments and no, it's yeah.
no, none of that. If you're not serious and you're not ready to commit, or you're still looking around, that's fine. We're going to keep looking around too.
Hmm.
Like you said, we're taking our swings with the big fish, and the big fish want to look around. Okay, you get it,
Hmm.
and you deal with it.
Hmm.
But everybody no, everybody else no. We're not going to deal with that. You're not really feeling the you. That's fine. We'll go to somebody else who is feeling the you.
Exactly.
And I like the fact that we're doing that. And I'll tell you what, this young man could. We'll get to the next guys. Is really my favorite diamond in the rough gem, who should be ranked much much higher than he is.
Yeah.
And people are still not talking about him. And you don't see him on Rivals or on 247. He's not talked about a lot as far as linking him to us. But I think we have a good chance for him, and I think he should not only is he underrated. I would give him, we've talked about it. I would
Hmm.
give him a 95 or a 96 rating, and he actually has it much lower. But Austin Cave, I see him getting up to 220, 225,
Just
230.
just that was a little confusing there. Just to specify, the guy that you just said that about, the guy that you think is underrated and you would give a 95, that's we're talking about
That's not Cave.
yeah,
No.
that's not Cave.
But I like Austin Cave, and I think he could develop into a starting caliber middle linebacker and a really solid starter.
Yeah.
The next guy I just think is a diamond in the rough, and let's get to him.
Let's get to him.
Uh, who gets the honor for saying his name
I'm
because I
Co.
don't know how to.
I'm Coey. Coey
You're going
Bryant.
Coey?
Coey Bryant Struther.
Brother. Right. I like to go. I think it's Joey.
Okay.
But anyways, Joey Bryant Strother, 6'2.5", 230 pounds, from Greater Atlanta Christian School in Norcross, Georgia. His rating is an 86.78, which I think is ridiculous.
And he's actually listed on in his profile at Huddle. He's actually listed at 6'4". So
Right.
you know
I think he's probably, when you look at him, he looks like he's definitely 6'3", every bit of
yeah. I
6'3".
was gonna say he could definitely be at least 6'3". But go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, rating of 86.78, a 3-star, the 20th ranked inside linebacker in the country, 603rd overall player. If that's the case, I'd really like to see the first 602. He was offered by 32 schools, including Ole Miss, Tennessee, Texas A&M, and UCLA. No crystal ball picks thus far. Miami made his final 10, and we are the first school listed in his bio, which is usually by order of interest.
Mm-hmm.
So I think this is a young man who has tremendous interest in Miami. You know, we've done a good job recruiting Georgia as of late. You know, Jaron Williams, Jagai Clark, Jalar Holly. I mean, we've done a good job of recruiting Georgia. And this young man, I think, is going to be special. A freaky athlete. And he's one of those guys that I'm like, with a giant neon light, underrated. Get. I mean, he's a must get for me. I think we have a good shot.
Disclaimer here. I didn't know about him. I'll be completely honest with you. Big Dog is the one that put me on him, and he started telling me how excited he was, and I was like, okay. So we started doing some digging. I started doing some digging, and I started seeing this film, and I'm just like, okay, yes, I see what you're seeing, and hopefully we're gonna show you guys the clip, and you guys please correct us if we're wrong. If this guy looks like he's a 3-star, I just don't. I'm not sure I have him as a 95 or 96 like you say, but I definitely
Get to
could.
his measurables. Give everybody
Yes.
the measurables.
Okay. Yeah.
Not the 40 time because he doesn't have the technique down.
Okay, I get
Give
it.
them all the measurables.
Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and say the measurements. 482 for the 40. His verse 37.2.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that correctly.
37.2.
37 inches at
Yeah.
6'3", 230 pounds.
Yes, but
37-inch vert. Go ahead to his shuttle time.
Yeah, I think that's the most impressive one. His shuttle's 4.1.
4.10.
Yeah. So
Shuttle
I mean,
time
but
at 6'3", 230.
But going back to my point, I think that and I understand he doesn't know how to run a 40, whatever. But the fact that he does run, 4.82, I think that's probably one of the main reasons why he's not ranked as high as we think he might be, or he should be.
Watch the film. Watch the film.
Let's get to it.
That kid runs a 4.6.
Let's go ahead and get
4.6. Might even run a 4.5 and change.
Yeah, let's go ahead and get to his film.
Let's go ahead and go to him, and you're gonna see exactly what I mean. There, you see him circled. Look at this. Yeah, how's that closing speed?
He's a big boy. I mean,
when he hits, you stay hit. Yeah. He is number 22. Look at this. Yeah. Oh, that's some broken ribs right there on that quarterback. There you go. A nice tackle for loss again.
The only thing I would say about him, once he gets going, he does look like he's faster than 4.8, but that first step I don't think is as quick.
Look at that. On a kick return,
that block, yeah.
Just on a punt, I should say a punt coverage.
A punt coverage, right.
Right, is what I meant to say. But listen, I love this dude. This, to me, he is every bit of the – look at this. Chasing down another play from behind. Lays people out. Just – fact that he even plays on special teams. Young man's been starting basically his whole career.
Yeah.
Look at that.
No, I definitely see it. I think he might be faster than 4.82.
He's definitely faster than 42.
Yeah, but I think he doesn't have the acceleration as a Flow might. Or
I don't
I'm
know.
not comparing him to Flow. Obviously, that's
410.
not fair.
410 shuttle.
No, hey, he could move.
410.
He could, yeah, he could definitely, twist, move his
You
hips,
have to
and
be
he's
able to
very
accelerate.
agile. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
you have to be able to accelerate. I think he's one of these guys who runs as fast as he needs to.
Hmm.
And I'll tell you what, to me, that is if we get him, and I do think we can get him. I
I mean,
think if we offer him, I think he'll come.
yeah,
This will be one of my favorite recruits. That's why I tell you guys, don't listen to the stars.
yeah,
They're meaningless.
and
Sometimes they're right. I'm not saying they're not. Sometimes you look at a player like Justin Flo and
hmm
you go, "Oh yeah, I see why you're a 5-star. You're a stud."
yeah,
I get that. But what you do see is a lot of 4-stars that you're going, I don't know, I don't see that. And then you see 3-stars and you're going, man, out of Alabama offer, and all of a sudden he becomes the top 50 player
yeah.
or top 100 player.
I just think with a guy of his size having that kind of a vertical and that shuttle. I mean, 4.41 in the shuttle, that's like almost elite territory when it comes to the
Well,
shuttle.
no, that is elite. I mean, his spark rating's through the roof.
Yeah,
When you have a 37-inch vertical leap at middle linebacker or inside linebacker, and you have a 37-inch vertical leap, and you run a 410 shuttle, and you're 6'3", 230, that's elite territory in
yeah,
terms of spark rating.
right.
So, and for you guys that didn't know, spark is SPARQ, and it's a rating that these combine style camps that they give you because they measure everything. They measure the 40, the vert, the shuttle time, power ball. Um, it's a whole bunch of different ratings, and then they give you a spark rating, which is your overall athleticism.
Hmm.
And his spark ratings through the roof, and at that size,
Right,
I
that's the thing.
yeah, I think this young man, if he was playing elsewhere or had an offer from your Bamas and your Clemsons and your Ohio States and stuff,
Hmm.
he would be a high 4-star. And I really like this guy.
Yeah,
So you remember, we'll find out how it's pronounced because it has those not really, what do you call those, the two little dots? I forgot what that's called. It's from Scandinavian countries over the O.
over the
So I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if it's Coe or Choe. Bryant Struther. He has one of those hyphenated last names.
hmm
But I'll tell you what, guys, learn the name because if we get him, you're gonna be very happy
yeah,
because this is a guy who could play right away
yeah.
and who could start right away.
So heading on to the next guy we're gonna cover, little undersized in terms of height, maybe when it comes to an inside linebacker, but Corey Flagg Jr. He's out of North Shore High School in Houston, Texas. His ratings are 83.77, which is a 3-star. He's the 41st best inside linebacker in the country and a 1,231st best overall player. Now, he's been offered by 16 schools, including Oklahoma State, Purdue, Virginia Tech, and Boston College. The Crystal Ball currently has 3 picks. 2 are for Oklahoma State, and 1 is for Miami. And he's scheduled to visit Miami on June 14th and Purdue the following weekend. So, what do you
Yeah,
think about Corey Flagg?
well, he visited Oklahoma State back in April. Um, I really don't have a really good read, but I do have a feeling. Now, mind you, we got out to Texas quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Jonathan Packey, in fact, worked at the Rice Satellite Camp, which we didn't touch about, and that's something I wanted to mention too. One of the things that I like, Mark Rick really didn't do it, and I guess it was something he didn't want to do. But Manny Diaz does want to do it, and that is working satellite camps. And for you, those of you that don't know, satellite camps are like this last one was at Rice University. So is like they get all these kids to come out to the camp, and they get coaches, sort of like a showcase. FIU, we had 3 coaches at the FAU one on Thursday, and I think today they're having an FIU one. And basically, you get all these coaches working the satellite camps and evaluating the players and putting them through drills and it's a good way of broadening your recruiting base. Well, Mark Richt didn't like doing that for whatever reason. Manny Diaz doesn't have a problem with it, and he actually has several satellite camps where we're going to have coaches traveling. And one of the places we want our footprint is in Texas. I'd love to get a footprint in Cali, and I'd love to get a footprint in Georgia. Yeah. So, but we got, and that's one of the, and they visited Corey Flagg. They've actually visited him a couple of times. The thing is, for me, he's 5'10", 223 pounds. Mm-hmm. And when you look at him, he looks like he's filled out. So it doesn't look like he's going to do any more growing. Mm-hmm. Do you have to have height to be a good linebacker? Sam Mills. I'll give you a guy who's a great linebacker who was like 5'9". No, you don't. I get that. But when I see his film, I'm not impressed. I'll just say that much. Could we do worse? Yes. But if Corey Flagg tells me right now, if I'm the one making the decision, I'm Manny, and Corey Flagg says, I want to commit, my answer to him would be, hold on for a second. What type of feelers am I getting from Brian Struther, from obviously Justin Flo, from Tyreek Austin Cave?
Savell, Savell, somebody that I think could move Savell, inside as well, not just absolutely play on the outside.
Well, he's 6'3", 230, so he's basically the same size as Brian Struther is. Mm-hmm. So Savell Smalls could be, and I think he'd be a really good middle linebacker. Mm-hmm. I do. I think he's going to be one. In fact, you know what? More often than not, I think even though they have him listed as an outside linebacker, I think Savell will move inside in college because of his instincts and because he's a thumper. I mean, the guy's thick. Okay. I'll say this. To me, he's not a take. Unless I know that I have very little chance of getting the guys ranked ahead of him. And like you said, throw in Savell Smalls in that group. Mm-hmm. Unless I know that my chances are very remote to get Flo, Savell Smalls, Kobe Bryant Souther, Tyreek Austin Cave. And I don't think that's the case. I think out of that group of four, I think we get at least two. Mm-hmm. In which case, Corey Flagg's probably not a take.
Right.
Okay. So you want to go ahead and get to his film?
Yeah, let's go ahead and get to his film. He might not be a take, especially for the guy that we're going to follow him up with.
At linebacker. And he's a local guy.
Yeah. So let's get to his film.
Right there, he makes the tackle. I didn't see that running back getting knocked back at all.
Yeah, no.
Same thing. Nice play. Chasing it down from behind. I mean, the guy makes plays. Don't get me wrong. The guy makes plays, but are they really special plays? Not so much. Good tackle. He's a solid tackler. Yeah. Good job in coverage here. Makes a nice hit. Breaks up the pass.
Yeah, that was probably my favorite play out of the little clip.
And here he chases it down, makes a tackle, stops him for a 4-yard gain or so.
Yeah,
good play.
Yeah, I think.
Okay, is there anything there that says, "Oh my God, we got to get this kid"?
No, I don't think so. And I think you pointed to a very good point on. He's a guy who, if we miss on a lot of these other linebackers that we're talking about, then okay, I could see us taking somebody like Corey Flagg. But assuming we get the people that we think we're gonna get, the players that we think we're gonna get, I don't see us necessarily. Maybe we pick up a flyer. I mean, if we have, because we do need a lot of depth at that position group. So maybe, but I mean, if we get players ahead of him and guys that we've talked about, I don't see Corey Flagg.
That's the thing.
Having any playing any significant playing time.
And you know me, I'm not a guy that goes by height. I've seen a lot of I like heights at certain position, obviously, mm-hmm. but I've seen shorter players be ballers. So that's not the point.
Yeah.
But looking at his film, I don't see anything that. Okay, I'll put it this way: I don't see anything that you won't see in 20 other linebackers and
And
30 other linebackers.
and as far as for some reason, Huddle has him running a 4-5, which I do not see.
That's why I never believe Huddle's numbers. I
Yeah,
believe 247 composites number or
it's tough.
247.
The 24740 has him at a 4-9.
Excuse me.
So yeah,
Say it again.
that's not good, man.
492. What's his vert?
His vert's 30 inches, 30.7, and his shuttle's 4.43. 4.43. So
They did say he squatted 655 and he cleaned 365, and that's on Huddle. So take that for what it's worth. Uh, Listen, could we do worse than Corey Flagg? Yes, we could. But if we
he's a
take a
12th
Corey Flagg,
1200 best
1200 best overall play,
overall
if
player.
we take a Corey Flagg commitment early, okay, now if we're having the same conversation and it's the day after early signing day, and we still only have 2 or 3 linebackers in our 2020 class, okay, then I say, yeah, that'd be good. Let's get Corey Flagg.
Yeah.
But if we take an early commit for Corey Flagg, I think it's a sign that we're not getting,
We don't have faith in.
we're not feeling those upper tier guys. That those upper tier guys are not feeling Miami.
Yeah, I, yeah, I would agree with you there.
All right, I want to go to this next guy who I do like quite a bit. Uh, Andy Garcia, local young man, 6'2", 210 pounds, from St. Thomas Aquinas. He used to be at American Heritage and I believe Cardinal Gibbons too. Uh, his rating is ridiculous with the measurables and with the way that this young man, the places he's played and the way he's played with the measurables. Now, mind you, his film doesn't match the measurables yet because he's still developing as a player. But you look at his film, it's impressive, and he should be ranked higher. So I do think I don't put him anywhere in that league with Brian Struther, but I do put him much higher than where his ranking is now. He is, I mentioned his rating, 43rd ranked inside linebacker in the country, 1,267th overall player, offered by 12 schools. I do like that Brown, Columbia, and Vanderbilt all offered him. The crystal ball has 4 picks. 1 is for Boston College, and 3 is undecided. Miami has not offered him yet, but I do think it'd be a game changer that if we want him, we get him. I think he's very underrated. I think he would get a high 80s rating from me. I would expect a guy with his.
That's
Go ahead and give him the measurables.
yeah. His 40's 4.72, vert 32 inches, and shuttle 4.31. I'm not sure if I'm with you there on the high 80s in terms of ratings, but I do think he's a better prospect than Corey Flagg. Not by much, not by like a crazy amount. Yeah.
He's 6'2". He's 6'2", 210, and a real 6'2", because he was measured at the opening.
I get it.
It might have been one of the other camps, but he was measured at one of the combine style camps. So all these times, the 4.72 40 was laser time. The vert 32 inches and the shuttle 4.31, and then he had in between Cardinal Gibbons, American Heritage, and St. Thomas, he has 98 total tackles, 11 for loss, has 9 sacks in his high school career so far. And you want to take a look at the film, and we'll talk about it some more?
Yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at the film.
Let's go ahead and look at it. I believe this one's from American Heritage. And there you see he's circled, reading the play. Look at this.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, dude. That's not an 83. Look how you chase that quarterback down from behind. When he gets you go down, and you go down violently. Nice read here. Look at that. Yep.
Yeah, I see him as a better prospect than Corey Flagg for sure.
There you go.
And considering the high schools, I
Look
mean
at this. This is what I love.
yeah,
Look at that. Guy made a couple of moves, still got him for like a 3 yard loss.
he's in, and he stayed with him. I mean, he played. Look at the high schools that he played for. So he played against really good competition. Like I said, I think he's a better prospect than Flag. So I would be I would be excited to see if we take Andy Garcia, if we don't get any of the other guys that we were talking about, instead of getting like a Corey Flag, I'll be a little more excited about Andy Garcia for sure.
Well, I'll tell you this much. Not only do I think he's a better prospect, the fact that he's 6'2", 210,
Mm-hmm.
that he's been developing, okay? That's a guy that if we offer, because we haven't even offered him yet, and I think if we offer him, we get him.
Mm-hmm.
So if we offer him I'd take earlier because I can see him developing. Corey Flagg, I think what he is what you're going to get.
Mm-hmm.
With Andy Garcia, what he is, I still put it above Flagg, and I think his ceiling is much, much higher than Flagg's.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'll agree with that for sure.
So if we end up offering him and he wants to commit, I think he's a take because you can still take him and then get a couple of the other guys
Right.
that are ranked ahead of him.
Yeah. You wanna mention some of the other guys that maybe to have an eye out for when it comes to the linebackers?
Some names to know. Really highly rated guy that we've been trying to work. Another Texas guy, inside linebacker Josh White, 6'1", 200 pounds from Houston. He's committed to LSU, and all 9 crystal balls are for LSU. And I think we're still recruiting him, but I don't see a path. I think this young man's going to go in LSU. Romello Height. Now, Romello Height, 6'5", 210. Interesting guy. He's one of those guys that you wonder, is he, because he is really that height. I mean, he really is all of 6'5", or at the very least, darn close to it. Really intriguing athlete. One of those guys that you don't know, is he going to stay at linebacker or are they going to move him to defensive end? He is visiting Miami on June 14th. Solid player, good-looking athlete. I don't know what the staff is thinking with the DNs. And I'm pretty sure, I think Chance Williams that's going away, that contact somewhat, because he really wants to play in a 3-4, and obviously we play a 4-3 attacking type of defense. And Chance Williams wants to play in a 3-4. So I don't know if I think we could get him, Romello Height. I think we can get him. But is he going to end up being a linebacker at the next level or defensive end?
Yeah, at that size, I wonder as well.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and go to the cornerbacks. And the first guy, he's actually listed at safety, but he is a cornerback for us. And we've already talked to him. The young man wants to switch to cornerback. And the fact that we wanted him since the beginning at cornerback means a lot. Keyshawn Lawrence, 6'2", 187 pounds, from Ensworth High School in Nashville, Tennessee. A rating of 96.46, high 4-star. He's the 3rd-ranked safety in the country, 63rd best overall player. Offered by 23 schools, including Clemson, Alabama, LSU, Georgia, and Tennessee. The crystal ball has 2 picks. One's for Tennessee and one is undecided, but he is Corn Elder's cousin. And he's talked about, Corn Elder. He's talked about the fact that Corn Elder preaches the virtues of Manny Diaz, how much he loves Manny, and he's been talking to the young man how much he loves Miami. I think we have a good shot because I think we were one of the first ones that recruited him, saying in his ear that he's going to play cornerback.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what the young man wants to do. He's really intrigued about that. Really good athlete, also plays basketball. Lengthy, which, Mike Rumpf loves those lengthy cornerbacks like himself. Although he has a lot more athleticism than Mr. Rumpf had. You want to go ahead and get to his numbers?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, there's some numbers that really pop out at you when you read them off. His 40 was 4.59. His vert 39.5 was his vertical, and his shuttle was 4.06. So I mean, that's elite level numbers and athleticism right there. Now the
You're
thing,
talking, and the cornerbacks, for a cornerback, that shuttle time is
mm,
just as important as his 40. I think his 40 with that vert, a 39.5 inch vert. Okay. And I know
definitely
he's a basketball player, which also helps, that when you play basketball
right.
and those basketball drills and stuff with your vertical leap,
Hmm.
but he'll end up probably running sub 4.5 with that vert, and that shuttle shows you some of that short area quickness and those hips where this this guy, I know he's rated as the third best safety in the country, but as a cornerback, if he would have played corner from the beginning, he'd be even higher ranked as a corner.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I think the fact that he's ranked as a safety and that we want to bring him in as a cornerback, you kind of wonder where he'll fit in right away. If we do land him as a corner, maybe you're looking at a red shirt, because he would have to learn, technique at the
That's the thing.
cornerback position.
That's the thing. That's the thing. I mean, I think he's a young man who's going to benefit, but the fact that he wants to play corner is huge.
Yeah, I
But
think
he's
that's.
going to need a year to work on that technique.
But
And
I
and
think that's huge. When you say huge, the fact that he wants to play cornerback, I think that's huge for the Canes' chances of landing him. Is the fact that he does want to play cornerback, and the fact that we were recruiting him from the beginning as a cornerback. I think that gives us an edge over maybe some of these other schools that were recruiting him as a safety.
right. Well, and look at what happened with the Rand Branch from Louisiana.
Mm-hmm.
One of the big selling points was Miami talked to him about being a striker.
Mm-hmm.
And this young man, now he looks like a diamond in the rough because he is really developing, and
Yeah.
and he's been at some of these camps and has looked great.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the reasons why we got him was we sold him on the idea of playing striker, and when they've interviewed him, that's what this guy's talking about, that he loves the idea of playing striker.
Right.
I think in some ways the fact that he's Cornelder's cousin and the fact that he wants to play corner are big pluses for
Mm-hmm.
us, and he would be a huge get. Right now, him and the offensive tackles, in terms of the guys that we don't have committed yet, I'd say Jalen Rivers, who's going to commit tomorrow, hopefully to the U. I believe it will be to the U.
Hopefully.
Yeah, Isaiah Walker, the young man from Norland, and this young man, Keyshawn Lawrence, because
Mm-hmm.
we've gotten some guys that are, because even Justin Hodges from Western who committed,
Mm-hmm.
because we already have 3 defensive backs committed. We
Yeah.
have Jaden Francois, who I think is a corner, but a lot of people see him as a safety. I think he could play either or. We have Justin Hodges, the young man who ran that 4.89 40, but he plays faster. I don't think, and he hasn't really developed with weights and stuff. He needs obviously a red shirt for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And we have Duran Branch, the young man. We talked about him being a striker. So we have 3 defensive backs committed. I think we want 2 more, at least one, if not both, corners.
Right.
We're with safeties. I think if we don't get our top guys, I think we're fine on safeties. They might not want to take another one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because we have guys that can play safety, and we have guys that Keontra Smith. He's probably not even going to get in rotation, and he's a baller.
Right.
So I think if we can get the top safeties, we'll take them. But if not, I think we're looking at 2 corners. And Keyshawn Lawrence is just as important, I think, or just below where I'd put Jalen Rivers and Isaiah Walker.
Yeah. You
You want
wanna?
to get to this film?
Yeah. Let's go ahead and get to some of his film. And in the very first play, you're gonna see him
I
returning a
like the
kick.
sauce. I like the little sauce designation. And you'll see why we like him as an athlete. No, no, I'm going to go this way. Okay, now watch this. This would surprise the heck out of me. Oh, he comes out of all that traffic. Boom,
Yeah.
cut it back, gone. Takes it to the house. Now watch this. Talk about speed, not only staying with the guy, cutting in front, my ball.
Yeah.
Look at this. Fights off the block. Nice tackle. Causes the fumble.
He's a
Makes
player,
plays.
man. Yeah.
He's a baller. The guy is a baller. I could
Shuts
definitely
off a
see.
block.
Look at that. Look. Ooh. You know he was. If the other guys weren't there, he was getting ready to slam that
Oh
dude.
yeah, he was getting slammed. But I love the fact that the way he shut that block to get that
Yeah.
tackle. So
Yeah. This is a
he's an
guy.
elite level talent, man. He really is.
I'll tell you right now. He might need a year to learn technique, but I don't see anybody keeping him off the field that second year. So he might take that red shirt that first year as he's learning to play corner. That
Yeah,
second year, I'm going to tell you right now, he's earning himself a spot.
yeah, for sure. I
All
agree.
right.
You want to
You
go
want
ahead
to go
and
to
Ethan Pouncey?
so? Oh, by the way, just to talk about that, I do think we have a really good shot of landing Lawrence. I really do, and I think the fact that we sold him on the idea of corner, obviously in the NFL and a young man like that has NFL aspirations.
Hmm.
In the NFL, corners make a lot more money than safeties do usually. So
Yeah.
I think he's really that talented. Next guy up is another corner that I think we have a pretty decent shot on. Ethan Pouncey, 6'1", 160, Winter Park High School in Winter Park, Florida. He's rated as a solid 4-star, 91.67 is his rating, 19th, 1'9", best cornerback in the country, 233rd best overall player, offered by 19 schools, including Clemson, Alabama, Georgia, Florida, and Auburn. One crystal ball prediction, and it is for Auburn. I think Florida is probably the biggest threat to us, but I think having a good season, having a good game against Florida, I think we have a good shot at getting Pouncey.
Florida. Freaking Gators.
So, I mean, and this guy's also lengthy. We love, listen, I love tall corners.
That's what I was
You
gonna
know,
say, man. You took the words out of my mouth. The fact that
yeah,
these guys that we're covering, they're 6 foot, 6'1", 6'2" corners,
I like tall
and they
corners.
got the
And I know
speed.
there's part of Kane's fam that dumps on Mike Rumpf. I think a lot of it's because of what happened with Tyson Campbell and Patrick Surtain Jr.
Mhm.
But I think Rumpf is a good recruiter. Look what he did with Christian Williams. I think he's a good teacher. Look what he did with Michael Jackson. Mike Rumpf is a plus coach.
Yeah.
And I know people say I got my Kane shades on because he was part of the U as a player and he's U family. But Mike Rumpf to me is definitely a good coach, a damn good coach.
We've seen development from our corners, so I
Absolutely,
don't see why anybody would question Rumpf.
absolutely.
And
And
when
you know what? And he's recruited. We have like right now we have 9 blue chips in our secondary.
hmm
Okay, I'll repeat that. We have 9 guys in our secondary that were 4-star or above.
hmm
9
hmm
4-stars.
yeah,
Actually, there's 9 4-stars. There's no 5-stars, but there's 9 blue chippers in our
hmm
secondary, and Mike Rumpf deserves credit for that. Part of that credit, obviously, with Banda and Manning also.
hmm
But listen, Rumpf is a good guy to teach,
the
and I
thing.
like. And here's what I was saying. And Rumpf likes tall corners, and I like tall corners. I know people love to Corey Couch, and I think he's going to be a baller. I think he's going to be, Trajan Bandy 2.0
Yeah.
once he gets up to weight and stuff like that.
The only
But
thing I will say
I like tall
about
corners.
yeah, me too. But the only thing I will say about Ethan Pouncey is that he doesn't have any testing numbers because it did seem that he was avoiding the camps because maybe he doesn't want
Listen,
schools.
I don't know. He might have had an injury. Obviously, we don't know. Normally,
It
when
makes you nervous though.
well, that's the problem is when you see a 4-star prospect and you don't have testing numbers from any of these combine style camps. Okay, why not?
Right.
Maybe there's other issues, and I don't want to. We don't want to prejudge, obviously. But when I don't have testing numbers, I get nervous. Now, when I watch this film, let's go ahead and get to the film.
hmm
You want to get to the stats too?
Let's get to the film first.
Okay, we'll do the film first.
No, he is
Here we
long,
go.
which is
Yeah, he
like
is
you
long.
said.
He's 6'1", 2. I was 6'1", 160.
hmm
Well, I haven't got mine running here yet.
Well,
Can you see it on your end? You
yeah,
go ahead and narrate it.
I'll go ahead. Here you're gonna see him Pick off the very first play and take it to the house. It's a good read, and you see him there. I mean, you can see in his
One
frame.
thing I do want to point out: his junior season, he had 8 interceptions
Yeah,
and 21 passes defensed.
and there you're gonna see another pick. He high points the ball, takes it away from him, and the speed, man. I mean, there you see him. There's nobody's gonna catch him. Nobody's gonna catch him. So
I mean, I know he doesn't have the testing numbers, but that doesn't look like to me like somebody I'd be
he's
scared to
not
get
slow.
tested.
And here again, you see him. I mean, you could say that the quarterback telegraphed that pass, so it was a pretty easy pick. But nonetheless, he made a good play on the ball, and another one took it to the
And
hizzy.
he looks to me like he can run a 4.540, high four
Oh, I don't
fives
doubt it.
right now.
I don't doubt
So
it.
I think that's plenty. That's fast enough to at 6'1", especially.
Yeah,
Now he's not going to be 160. He's going to need to gain some weight, and probably through his senior year of high school and his first year at Miami. If you especially if you red shirts, you're looking at 180, probably 185, 190 by the time he gets playing time.
yeah.
And with David Feely, who,
Mhm.
by the way, who I love. I don't know if you guys saw that video that you showed me on Twitter, that the Big Show
Oh yeah.
showed at the workout, and David Feely's doing a great job as a strength and conditioning coach.
The Big Show didn't look so big next to Navarre Donaldson. I mean,
That's true.
he looked big, but he didn't look, the
That's
Big
true.
Show big next to Navarre Donaldson. Because I think Navarre Donaldson in the clip, the very first guy that Big Show says what's up to and like gives him a pound the back is Navarre Donaldson. And
One of the things
they're kind of comparable in size. And you're just like, what? Yeah, Navarre Donaldson's a big dude, man.
he is a big dude, and one of the things I thought was awesome on that Twitter thing, and that's the thing that sometimes people forget is that at the end of the day, these kids are still kids, and yeah, I mean they're in grown man bodies and they're young men and they're entering manhood. But did you see Shaq's face
Oh yeah, he
when
was.
they showed Shaq's face? He was like, he was
Yeah,
like a kid that just saw like
that was
a
so
big
cool.
time wrestler and stuff. And
That
we
was so
forget
cool.
that these are kids after all. So that was really cool for them.
Pigney
Getting,
too. Pigney too. You
I
don't
didn't see Bigby.
you don't see a clear like a clear picture of Pigney when he was walking in, but you see Pigney and then he just like he turns around and he just kind of he's there like what? Like is that really the Big Show? So that's cool, man. That's cool when
That
you
was awesome, man. And when I saw Shaq's face, that's what it reminded me. It was like, watching my son on Christmas morning, seeing like his eyes got all wide when he saw a Big Show.
yeah
And that was really cool. It was a nice moment. And the Big Show said some nice words to
yeah
him. But yeah, I mean, I think Pouncey is one of those guys that he's obviously a take if he commits. And, and I think him and Lawrence, man, with what we have already, that's a pretty good
sure
haul.
yeah definitely. And you guys saw in the clip there. Yeah, we don't have his testing number, so we don't know his 40 time, but he doesn't look slow.
No, he looks
So
plenty fast, and he looks like a kid that's probably very athletic. Even
yeah.
the way he moves, he's very athletic. So maybe it was just one. Man, you never know. These kids have real life too. Sometimes they get, some family member gets sick and they can't go to a camp,
It could be
or they
anything.
don't have the transportation, or
Yeah,
you don't know, man. There could be reasons. So
absolutely.
I'm not going to prejudge it. A lot of times, though, you're right. A lot of times when these kids don't go to camps, you go,
Yeah.
what's he trying to hide?
Right,
Type of
right.
thing.
Yeah,
But with
for sure.
Ethan Pouncey, I don't necessarily see that that's the case.
Yeah, and the tape doesn't show that you have any question marks on exactly why
Right.
maybe he would have skipped it. So,
Right.
I mean, we'll see. We'll see. I'm,
Let's
I'm,
get
I'm
to
excited
the
about
next
him.
one.
Yeah, Kendall
Next
Dennis.
cornerback, Kendall Dennis, from Lakeland or Kath. I think he's maybe in Lakeland this year. Was from Kathleen High School. I think that's what it is. Lakeland, Florida. Uh, Rating of 89.49, low 4-star. 28th best cornerback in the country. 323rd best overall player. Offered by 11 schools, including Auburn, Florida, FSU, and Tennessee. No crystal ball picks. A little bit of a late bloomer, but he's a good athlete. The thing is, the way I heard people on some of the articles that I've read talking about,
They hyped him up too much for you.
yeah, they hyped him up too much for me. Like, and I was expecting to see like Jalen Hyatt What did you run a 4.3 140 or something laser time? His 40 times 4.57. Huddle has him at 4.4. You watch the tape. Is he 4.4?
Nah, no.
He's not 4.4, dude.
No, 4.4 is already
4.57.
4.4 is like top elite level kind of speed.
Yeah,
I don't.
in high school especially.
Yeah.
In high school junior, yeah. I mean, he had a 35-inch vert, 35.3 vert, 4.41 shuttle. Okay,
Yeah.
I mean, he's a good athlete and he has good coverage skills,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't necessarily see he does have a high ceiling. I'll give him that much. I think he has a high ceiling.
Yes.
And as a guy who's probably going to develop into that high 4.4 range and stuff like that. So
You see, he wasn't hyped up to me the way he was for you because
you like him?
so I like him a lot. I do.
Okay.
I don't see the 4.4 speed, but what I like about Dennis, and you want to go ahead and get to the video so I could.
Well, let me ask you a question. I'll ask you a question.
Okay.
If we get Keyshawn Lawrence
Yeah.
and we get Ethan Pouncey, would you take him as a sixth defensive back in this class, or would you pass?
I would take him 100% because of my reservations about Hodges.
Yeah, but were you're not going to pull the scholarship? I agree with you. I like him better than Hodges.
Yeah.
No, I agree. I
Yeah.
agree with you. But Hodges is already in the boat.
Yeah.
We're already headed back to Doc with Hodges.
I get it, but this is why I kind of had a problem with offering Hodges so early because of this reason right here. Because of if you have a player like Dennis or Hodges to maybe go along with,
No, you're right.
what did I say? Oh, I mean, yeah. When you
Yeah,
have
Dennis or Hodges, you're right.
Dennis or Hodges, I like Dennis more than I like Hodges, frankly.
You're
So
right.
that's the reason. That's the only problem I had with Rumpf offering Hodges. I'm not saying Hodges is a scrub
No,
by any means, or
not just offering him, but accepting his commitment.
I'm sorry. Yes,
We
exactly.
already accepted his commitment.
That's already signed, sealed, and delivered. So I mean,
Well, not delivered. I mean, technically,
I mean,
other schools do that. Other schools pull offers.
yeah, but Miami, I don't see Manny or Rumpf putting an offer. I don't see us doing a Saban might do it. I don't doubt it, but I don't.
Harbaugh famously did it, I think, to a kid who was actually driving to Michigan already.
Yeah, I don't see us putting offers from kids, to be honest with you. So
Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like that.
So I think that's already a done deal with Hodges. But that's why when we did offer, at the time that we did, I had a problem with it.
And take his commitment.
And take his commitment. This is the
take
reason.
his commitment.
This is the reason why. Because I think Dennis. I understand he was sold to you a certain way.
No.
Maybe different than he was to me. But
your point's right.
Yeah, I like what I see from Dennis.
You're 100% right. You're 100% right. That if I'm looking, Kendall Dennis is to me a much better prospect than Justin Hodges.
Yeah, for sure.
100%.
You want to go 100%. Ahead and get to his film?
Let's go ahead. But that's the problem now with numbers. If we take Keyshawn Lawrence and we get Ethan Pouncey, then Kendall Dennis is not a take.
Oh, no, but that's okay, fine. But I'll be okay with that because of Pouncey and landing Lawrence, especially
Lawrence.
Right. So I'm good. I'm good with that. If you tell me right now, okay, I'll put it to you like this. If you tell me, hey, listen, you don't get Lawrence, but you'll get, Pouncey and Dennis, then okay. But if you tell me, yeah, okay, I understand, we got Hodges, but hey, we got Lawrence and we got Pouncey, then I'll be like, okay, fine, we don't need Dennis.
I'm with you.
I'm good.
Then I agree with you 100%. Then we got the same evaluation then. Yeah. Let's go ahead and take a look at the tape.
Okay. You're good on your end, so you're working now?
Actually, I got the picture, but it's not moving for some reason.
All right, just go ahead and refresh it, and I'll go ahead and walk through on this video as well. Just go ahead and refresh your page.
That's a good idea. That's what I'm doing right now.
On this very first play, you're gonna see, Dennis, good eye for the ball, goes up, picks it, and what the reason why I kind of wanted to narrate a little bit on this video is because I like the way he tackles. I like the way he wraps up,
I did like that. I
and
do like that.
and here you're gonna see him. He gets off the block and just lays the guy for a loss of 3 or 4. And here, boom, you're gonna see the same thing. Little bubble screen, attacks it, makes a great tackle, wraps up. There you see him, good hands, good pickoff. Now here you don't see that 4-4 speed, and this is the thing that me and Big Dog we're talking about. You don't see that 4-4 speed necessarily right there. So
No, he runs a 4.57 like they said in 247.
absolutely. And
That
here
4.4 and huddle, I don't believe.
here on that last play, you're gonna see him go up and high point that ball and come down with the interception. Boy, what I like about Dennis is, like I said, the way he wraps up, and he just looks like a solid tackler and a very sound tackler, and that's what I like about Dennis. And I think he's an interesting prospect. And yeah,
There we go. You want me to just go ahead and give them the other names to know?
yes, for sure for the
For the
cornerbacks.
quarterbacks, because then we'll finish up with the two safeties that we have to go over.
Okay,
Other names to know: cornerback, Kaylee Ringo. He's from Arizona, number one cornerback in the country. We did have some traction early, but no traction recently. And the crystal ball has him headed to Texas or Georgia, and I haven't really heard any major thing during contact with Kaylee Ringo. Um, Jahari Rogers, another. Listen, I like the fact that we're recruiting Texas harder than we did with Rick. And there's some ball players. Obviously, we got Peyton Matocha from Texas last go around, and we're recruiting it hard. Jahari Rogers, he is the 10th best cornerback in the country. The crystal ball also has him headed to Texas, but we are warm with Jahari Rogers.
mm-hmm.
So I think we have a shot at him, and I'd like to start pulling some players from Texas. Because really, I think after Florida, the best high school football is in Texas, then Cali, then Georgia.
Right.
And pulling some players there and having a footprint in Texas, I think bodes well. And Miami is, in terms of interest level, Miami's listed as warm with Jahari Rogers. So another one, Brian George, he would be a Highland Community College cornerback. He visited Miami, and he was trending earlier. Another lengthy cornerback, like 6'2". Miami also shows warm with him. Joshua Eaton is another tall Texas cornerback. Jonathan Packey, in fact, offered him when he worked at satellite camp at Rice. Joshua Eaton was there, and he got offered by Packey. And in the last one, Diedrich Stanley from Miami Central, 5'8.5" or so, shorter guy, listed as an athlete, but I don't know if we're taking necessarily that body type anymore in this class.
Mm-hmm.
So that's it. Let's go ahead and move to the safeties.
Yes, sir.
And we'll start off with a big one that a lot of people have had him trending towards us early on, even though he was committed to Oregon. He actually committed to Oregon without ever visiting. So that's why a lot of people didn't think he was serious. He committed to Oregon back in December, and I think he might have visited finally.
Mm-hmm.
He might not have, but he committed sight unseen to Oregon. And his commitment, as far as I know, is still in effect. He hasn't decommitted. But Avante Williams, 5'11", 169, out of DeLand High School in DeLand, Florida. A 97.51 rating, high 4-star, number one safety in the country, and 46th best overall. Offered by 27 schools, including Bama, Georgia, Ohio State, Florida, and obviously Oregon. He committed to Oregon on December 16th. Crystal Ball, even though he committed to Oregon, Crystal Ball does have 5 votes, 2 for Miami and 1 each for Oregon, Florida, and Georgia. A lot of people keep saying that he's not going to stick with Oregon, and if he doesn't stick with Oregon, I think we got a good shot at getting him. I think we're only going to take one of the 2 safeties that we're going to talk about. But I think he.
And I'll be good with either or.
Me too. Me too. Go ahead and talk about his measurables.
Yeah, his 40 was 4.52. His vert 36.2, and his shuttle was 4.25. As in high school, he wait a second, I'm here.
57 total tackles in
50.
high school.
There you go. I couldn't find it.
Yeah. I mean, this is funny, but if he was a cornerback prospect, I mean, he had a decent. He has like cornerback numbers, really.
Yeah.
And even that shuttle is pretty impressive.
Yeah.
And the thing is with this young, I mean, he's as good of a football player as he is an athlete, and he's a tremendous football player.
Mm-hmm.
You want to go ahead and take a look at his film?
Yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at his film.
So let's look at Avante Williams, and here we go. Watch this. Watch this. There he is. Now watch. Boom.
He's the wood on that, baby.
I'll tell you what, this young man doesn't hit like his size. Look at that. Makes a nice tackle. And he was upset he didn't get a bigger hit.
Yeah.
Now, this what I love. Even though it would be a penalty, boom. Nails him out of bounds. Hits him after he gets in the end zone, I mean.
Yeah.
Look at this. Comes up. Nice interception.
That was just beautiful.
Ball skills.
So the way he jumped on that.
Yep. Look at this. Look at this closing speed. Look how far away he was. Boom. And gets there in a bad mood.
Nah,
Look at this one. Look at that.
Yeah, closing speed, man. That's what just pops out of the screen.
Yeah, that's why he's a top-rated safety in the country.
Yeah,
That's why he's a top-rated safety in the country, and he is obviously an automatic take. That's why I told when we were talking about this guys before, and we said that one of the reasons why we had to split up the defense prospects is because it's all over the board. That's what I mean. Mm-hmm. Like right now, if we don't get any of the two top safeties, I don't think we take a safety at all. We don't go further down the board. But if we get both those guys, even I wonder if they're both takes because of how good they are. And the same thing with the defensive line. I know linebackers is the only position I know that we're going to take at least 3 more, if not 4.
But the other guy that we're going to talk about, he's somebody who he's a little undersized as a safety maybe, but he played quite a bit in high school as a running back. So he's both ways. So he could be, a big pickup, not just for safety, but sure, you could put him on the offensive side of the football as well, and he's proven to be dynamic on that side of the football.
That's the thing. I mean,
and we're talking about Ladarius Tennyson. I'm sorry because I'm like rambling about Ladarius Tennyson already before even getting to him, but I'm very excited about Ladarius. And
that's the thing. And for those of you that didn't know, Tennyson committed to us on our junior day. I think it was the same day we got 3 commits, if I'm not mistaken. I think we got Francois was that day, and Keyshawn Washington that day. Also, I think he was. But anyways, Tennyson committed to us at junior day out of nowhere just for visiting on junior day, and then decommitted. For a lot of people said that Clemson was talking in his ear and that this and that. I don't buy it. I mean, that might have been the reason why he decommitted, in terms of he wanted to well, maybe I committed too soon, and then he started getting hyped because when we got him committed, Tennyson was a 3-star. So then he got his 4-star, and then he started getting more attention from all the usual suspects and stuff like that.
All right, so started breaking up there. We had a little bit of a technical difficulty there, but we're back on. So Tennyson, yeah, we're talking about how he was a 3-star. I think that's pretty much where we left off. He was a 3-star, and then he
committed to us.
When he committed,
and then he got his 4-star, and I think that's what sort of got his head spinning because he started getting all these offers. But now it seems that he's showing a lot of love to Miami, and Miami is showing him love again. So, but the thing is with
Avante, this guy, man.
I know.
I want Tennyson so bad.
Here's the thing, though. I don't know what happens if we end up getting those top 2 corners of Keyshawn Lawrence.
You imagine? Do you have any idea what our secondary will look like?
But then what are we going to do? We're going to take 2 safeties too? If we happen to get both? then we end up with 7 guys in this class from the secondary.
Why not? Why not, baby?
Well, I think the one that would lose out is probably Pouncey. Because Tennyson, man, you could put this guy anywhere.
No,
He's
yeah,
5.
I want Tennyson. I don't care. I just want Tennyson.
Well, yeah, but the thing is, if Tennyson, if you only have room for one, and Tennyson and Avante Williams both want to commit, you take Tennyson over Williams?
Nope.
Nope.
No, you don't because of his size. Yeah.
So, but I agree with you. I want Tennyson badly. Tennyson. So let me go over his measure, and then you give him the measure. I'll give him all the background here. He's listed as an athlete, but we want him for a safety. Guy plays both ways and is good both ways. He's good offensively and defensively. Offensively, he averaged 8 yards a carry and rushed for over 1,000 yards. And then defensively, he's like tearing people up, averaging 27 yards of reception also. But anyways, he's 5'9", 193 from Rockledge High School. I believe he also played at Palm Bay. That's in southwest Brevard County, Florida. His rating should be higher. It's not higher because of his height. He's only 5'9". So, but he's 193. He's a grown man already. This dude he's filled out, so I don't think he's going to grow anymore in terms of height. Rating 90.95, 4-star, 14th best athlete in the country, 267th best overall. Offered by 24 schools, including Clemson, Georgia, Florida, and FSU. Crystal Ball has 3 picks, 1 for Auburn and 2 undecided. And as I mentioned, he was committed to Miami and surprisingly decommitted. But I think Miami's getting traction again. This is a pure football player. This guy's just a football playing Jesse.
Yeah. His 40 was he ran a 4.54. Huddle claims it's a 4.4. His verse at 36.2 inches, shuttles at 4.25, and I mean supposedly guy's squatting 545 pounds. So he's solid.
And imagine he rushed for over 1,000 yards with 12 touchdowns. And oh, by the way, he also made 124 tackles. Same season, guys.
Yeah.
Same season. Okay. Oh yeah, he also had 10 sacks. Just to throw it in there. Okay, and I mean,
can we get to the clips?
Yeah, man.
Can we get to the clips?
Now, no, we need to do one of those disclaimers.
Violent parental advisory.
I'm telling you, you guys remember that you saw Justin Flo hitting people? This guy hits people just as bad, guys, if not worse.
And this very first play, look at the size of the running back. Remember the size of the running back, and then look at the hit. So let's go ahead and get into it.
Yeah, let's get it. This guy, when he hits you, stayed hit. All right, here you go. Like Junior was saying, look at the size of the running back. Big dude. Gets a little screen. Here comes Mr. Tennyson. And Carlos, go ahead and take it from there because it's getting hung up on my end.
Oh, it's getting hung up on your end? All right.
Yeah.
Well, you saw the hit there. I mean, he just lit him up. Completely lit him up. So at that size, and there once again, I mean, you see the speed, the quickness, the closing speed, and at his size, man, look at the hits that he's putting on some of these guys. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And here you're gonna see again, little pass in the flat to the running back. Closes in on the play. I mean, he's a playmaker, man. And like we said, he's a two-way player. So there you see him taking a handoff to the house. So I mean, he's an elite level athlete. He could play both ways, but it's just crazy to me at that size that he could hit the way he does. Because
I'll tell you what. I know this sounds kind of strange. But Tennyson could be one of those guys that's just an extra take as an athlete.
If that's the case, man.
Just as an athlete. And you know what? If we overload our secondary, we'll deal with it. But he's that special of a hitter. Yeah. This young man is just and by the way, and Junior could vouch for this, his whole tape is like that. His whole tape is him making plays.
Yeah.
And when he hits you, you stay hit. and he can dominate the game just from the safety position, and he can run the ball, he can catch the ball. This kid is just a football playing Jesse.
Yeah, for
That's what he
sure.
is. And I think
So,
that wraps it up.
so I'm
For the
excited.
for the
I want
oh,
Tennyson.
I want him to.
I want him
I
bad.
mean, I'll tell you what. Obviously, I want Flo the most.
Well, come on, man. That's
Defensively, I
not fair.
want Flo the most.
Yeah.
Number two would be either Savell Smalls or Trenton Simpson after Flo. Defensively, I'm talking about the guys. I'm not counting the guys that have committed already. I'm talking about the guys that are still out there.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say my number one wish list is Justin Flo. My number two is Savell Smalls, Trenton Simpson. Really, my number three is Coey Bryant Struther. I know they're all linebackers, but we have such a position of need. But you can make a case that after Keyshawn Lawrence, man, Tennyson might be the very next guy that I'd love to take just because he is such
I am
a pure
100,
football player.
100% exactly your order right there. I mean, obviously Flo, Smalls, Simpson. I love Simpson. I mean,
Yeah.
I freaking love Simpson. So
Yeah, those guys with our need a linebacker, all three of our first picks have to be linebackers.
100%. And then and then Lawrence, I think it could be
A shutdown corner.
a shutdown corner and one of the best corners in the country, frankly, in the years to come. So I think Lawrence would definitely be one of the biggest gets.
Yeah.
But after Lawrence, I mean Tennyson, I just love the way the guy plays, the fact that he's a two-way player. If he's an extra take and maybe there's no space in that secondary, you could put he's a guy that you could literally put on the offensive side of the football. He's gonna be a playmaker no matter what.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
you
Put him
love
in the
to
slot.
put him in the slot.
Run the ball.
Run the ball. I mean, he's gonna make plays. And
Guys, listen, we've talked about it before. I highly recommend it to you guys. Go on Huddle and just type in Ladarius Tennyson and look at his video. And I'm telling you, it's worth the watch. It's worth the watch because it is football play after football play. The kid is 5'9", 193 pounds of muscle, and he hits like a ton of bricks.
Yeah.
He hits like a guy who's 6'2", 220.
Yeah.
And a hitter at that size.
Yeah.
Just a football playing Jesse. So that basically wraps it up.
Yeah, go ahead and wrap it up with maybe some more players to know. You don't. I'll
I'll give you some more safeties to know. Let me go over it here.
Starting off with Chris Thompson Jr., I believe.
Yeah, that's the first one. These are just the safeties, other safeties to know. Chris Thompson Jr., another prospect of that. Texas puts out some good DBs. We have to hand it to them. Texas does put out good defensive backs. Chris Thompson Jr., tall, rangy safety. Cristobal has him going to Texas. We have a puncher's chance. He's very much a tall Bubba Bolden type, rangy type of guy. Xavier Alford, basically the same description. He's not as tall, and he's a little bit more compact. And Xavier Alford is apparently leaning towards LSU. Another one that Blake Bakers is recruiting this guy, Donovan Johnson. Big dude. I mean, not giant, but a good sized guy. But he's been a late bloomer. I don't think he's visited yet. Blaker has seen him in Louisiana, and even though he's only a 3-star, I do think that Johnson can play at a Power 5 school. He's the other guys that we have names to know. But I think that really wraps it up. Guys, we're going to keep giving you all this content. We're actually trying to do it multiple times a week. Instead of just
more live shows, because we had a great time. I love the live show that we did and interacting with you guys in real time. Awesome. I think that's what really opened our eyes to how fun a live show could be. Because we went into it not really knowing, let's see what's up. Let's just give it a shot. But the fact that you guys were so supportive and your questions were amazing, your support has been amazing. So the fact that we had that real live interaction with you guys, I think really made it exciting for us. So we're gonna be doing more live shows coming in the future, and bringing content to you guys more often. I mean, this is the off season, so it's not a ton to talk about, but we're doing our best to give you guys the most content that we can give you, that an off season can offer, basically. So
Right.
hopefully you
Right.
guys are enjoying the content, and we're just gonna keep on coming.
And we just love doing it for you guys. And please like, if you haven't liked already, please like it. Really does help us out. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. Hit the notification bell so you always get notified when all our content comes out. And I know there's been a lot of shakeups at YouTube and stuff like that, so it's even more important for you guys to do all those things to make sure you get the content when we put it out there. And we'll be doing it, like I said, more than once a week. But thank you guys for so much support. Give us your comments. Let us know, things that you want to see and
Or
things
maybe
you
some
want us to
other
know.
players that maybe we didn't mention that you guys want
There you
to
go.
see if we have a shot at.
Yeah.
That's another player you guys have your eyes on that maybe you want to see the Canes really go after,
Right.
and trying to see the chances that we may have. I mean, put them in the comments, and we'll go ahead and talk about it and respond to you guys.
Absolutely.
So
But
yeah.
thank you guys. Thank you guys for all the support. And just love doing these things. And we enjoy doing it together, and we enjoy it so much more because of your support. So
And as always, it's all about.
the you, baby, all about the you. See you next time,
See
guys.
you next time, guys.
Ryan Little.